Hi everyone, this is Alloutdoor1 here. Welcome to episode 2 of my survival and bushcraft series. I'm staying on the line of hunting and trapping today, and we'll be setting up one, possibly two more traps today. I'll be demonstrating those, how to build them. These are different woodlands to where I've shown you previously. These ones are much closer to home and not as big either. Yeah, there's a lot more thoroughfare. Nevertheless, it's still a nice woodlands. Does have a deer population and all the usual wildlife you'd expect in a English forest. Has been a bit muddy recently, so yeah, not ideal conditions, but you know, have to make sacrifices for the cause, eh? Yeah, so checking out for now. I'll be back with you soon. Right everyone, so this next trap I'm going to be demonstrating is a type of noose trap or snare trap. Obviously the main feature of this trap is the snare. This can be made from various materials. Today I'm going to be using some snare wire. Obviously makes life a lot easier. I'm also going to need to use some cordage. I'll be using paracord, 550 paracord today, and what else? Yeah, just my knife, a saw, and a bit of patience. So as with many things in bushcraft, we're starting off with a branch, and this is going to be batoned into 3 as with my figure 4 deadfall trap, and many things in bushcraft start off this way. Seems to be a particularly hard piece of wood, but you know, that just means it will make a stronger trap in the long run. This is dead wood that has been left standing for a while. Back in the background over here, someone's created a bushcraft shelter. It wasn't me, so I've just used some of the wood. Right, so now we have our 2 main supporting pieces, and we'll use this piece. Actually, this piece isn't long enough. We need to get another piece for the cross frame part of the trap. So I'll just get some more wood. This is being a particularly obstinate piece of wood. Okay, but there we go. So essentially, the basis of this trap is formed in an H shape. You will have to drive these two pieces of wood quite deep into the ground, as they'll have to be able to support quite a lot of pressure, and the crossbar will be sitting here. So depending on what kind of animal you're trying to catch, as always, will depend on the height of this trap and how it's set up. I'm going to demonstrate one for animals about rabbit, squirrel size. So what you want is a notch slightly higher than the animal's head height whilst walking. You want two notches. There'll be a notch in either of these. So let's say around here, and you want the notches to be pretty much even, as in at exactly the same height on both sticks. So I'm just going to carve those out now. So now we have our two main posts, as you can see, with the notches cut out in them, like so. Sorry guys and girls, but I'm just having a little lunch break at the moment. I'll be getting back to the noose trap in just a second. Just gonna have a little snack, but also just recently bought these. These are Esbit fuel tablets. I'm not sure if people are familiar with this. If you're into bushcrafting, you probably will be. They are actually a bit more expensive than your traditional military trioxane and hexamine tablets. Actually, sorry, trioxane is about the same price, but hexamine tablets are definitely cheaper. These are a lot smaller, as you can see. You get 4 grams per block, and you get 20 of them in a packet. I do like the fact that they're very small, so you can add fuel as you need to, rather than having to keep breaking off chunks just to get your water to the boil. But yeah, they seem to be performing quite well so far. I've got 2 in there, half a litre of water. Hopefully it'll be able to bring it to the boil. As I said, a bit more expensive, but I've heard reports that these are actually gram for gram more efficient than hexamine, trioxane, or any of the other solid fuels. Yeah, that's just a little diversion there. I'll get back to the trap, as I said, in just a second. Hi everyone, so I'm back after my lunch. Yeah, it actually took 3 of those little Esbit tablets to bring half a litre of water to the boil, so that's 12 grams. I don't know about comparing it to other solid fuel types, but supposedly it's a lot more efficient. Anyway, back to our trap. Now obviously, like most traps, this trap depends on tension, And traditionally with this trap the tension is provided by bending a small sapling over, one with a lot of elasticity in it, or alternatively using a tree branch. I'm going to do it using a slightly different method. I'm actually going to suspend a weight from a low-lying tree branch and going to provide the tension for it that way. I saw this technique recently on a video by I can't remember the guy's name. He's a young guy, has some really actually well made nice videos on trapping. I'll annotate his name up here. Yeah, so he kind of showed me this technique here, using a counterweight rather than a sapling. If it's not clear at the moment, it will become more clear as I demonstrate the trap. So just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use a full water bottle, and that's going to provide the counterweight. As you can see, the other side is unattached at the moment and will pull the water bottle up and down. It's easiest if you find a tree branch that is fairly close to the ground and as horizontal as possible, and as smooth as possible. But it has to be high up enough off the ground to keep your trapped food away from other predators. Obviously this is just a demonstration, so this won't be perfect, but I'm just demonstrating the principle here. Any tips on how to improve this are welcome. I'll try and include them in the annotations. So first of all, we have to bury our pieces of wood into the ground. Have to be deep enough to be able to support the weight of the animal and the tension of the trap. So now you simply tie the other end of the string or the piece of cordage that you have to the trigger stick. I'll just do it using a reef knot, nice and simple. And it simply sits into the notches here. The noose I've made here out of wire. I'll demonstrate once I get home, and I'll put it into this video right now, how to make this noose. It's very simple. Right, so here's how to tie the noose. As I said, there are a few ways to make a noose. This is just a thin piece of steel wire. The first way to make a noose is you get your wire, fold some of it back onto itself, and then using a pencil or a stick, you simply start twisting it. and you just keep doing this until it gets nice and taut. Until you have something like this. Okay, now you take the other end of the wire and you just put it through the loop, and this is one type of noose. It's quite effective, and it's a stronger type of noose because it has the twists in it, so that gives it a bit of extra strength. The other way to tie a noose is you simply make a loop like so, take the end bit here, so I'm just having problems picking up on camera, and twist it round the back. So round the back, and then you feed it into itself. And again you have another noose. I actually generally use this method rather than the twisting method. Obviously a braided noose is stronger, as I said, but for small game this is perfectly sufficient. And so those are the nooses. Now back to the forest footage and the rest of the trap. So obviously the idea is that the animal comes along, gets caught up in the noose, pulls the noose to the side, and once it gets to a certain distance dislodges and sets off the trap, and it will be suspended in the air by the counterweight. Now obviously that counterweight isn't sufficient. You'd want something a lot heavier in reality, but essentially your prey will be suspended in the air whilst the weight should be all the way down to the ground. As I said, you'll need to use something a lot heavier. This was just for a demonstration, but you could use a large rock, large piece of wood, several branches strapped together, and it's infinite pretty much. So I'll just set it up and demonstrate again. So as I said, we cut the two notches into these two sticks, cut into it upwards and into it horizontally, because obviously the pressure is coming up, so you want it to be, the weight comes from underneath, so you want it to be suspended upwards like so, and then you simply slot into place and set up the snare. Obviously this isn't big enough, this snare, to catch anything. This is just for a demonstration again. So yeah, the animal comes along, tightens the snare, dislodges the stick, and up it will go. Yeah, and here's another small tip for you. Obviously if you're setting traps throughout the woodlands for whatever reason, you know, it will be quite easy to lose track of them and where you've planted them, where you've placed them, and obviously disregard the stall in the bag there, but you know, the forest all looks the same pretty much. That's my other bag. So a neat little trick is, if you notice there's something orange in the picture right now, and what that is just a piece of brightly coloured paracord. It's quite effective as a marker, so you can easily find your traps in the future when you come to check whether you've caught anything. yeah, so that is a demonstration of the noose trap. As I said, normally, or traditionally should I say, the counterweight is produced by a tree being bent over, a sapling. You literally pull the top end of it as close to the ground as possible and use that elasticity to provide the tension in your line. Yeah, this is just another way to do it, using a counterweight, which I think is even neater and more adaptable in a way, because obviously you can set the trap anywhere. You don't have to have a correct kind of branch or a correct kind of sapling nearby. So it's just a nice addition to the snare trap, just a nice little variation. And that is the beauty of trapping and traps. They're very clever, often very simple, and ultimately can catch you your dinner. Right, so yeah, this has been episode 2 of the Alloutdoor1 survival and bushcraft series. Hope you guys found that enjoyable. Subscribe to my channel for more reviews, news and discussions. This is Alloutdoor1 signing out. Take care.